Honestly, if you want to end a relationship with someone, simply loan them your money. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is to never loan your money to someone unless they're giving it as a gift and you don't expect it to be returned. I've never in my life loaned anyone money, and if I did, it was a small amount that I could easily forget about. But understand that there is nothing more embarrassing than to put yourself in a situation where you need to take someone else's hard earned money and you're not able to return it. And just to clarify, I'm not speaking about people who are homeless, people who have like no arms or legs, people who just moved into a new country and don't speak the language and need help with money and need help with finding a new job. I'm not speaking about those people. I'm speaking about people who have lived in the country long enough, who have the language and they speak it perfectly, people who have arms and legs and are able to find a job, but still choose not to and instead ask other people for money. Once you take money from someone, they will always look down on you. From then on, you are not an equal until you return that money. What's even worse is the amount of friendships and relationships ruined over money. I had a friend, let's call her Anna. She loaned money to a guy named Michael. And Michael isn't some stranger. This is a guy that she's known for years, a guy that she's been friends with for years. Anyways, he promised that he's going to return it, and guess what happened? All of a sudden, he disappears. She doesn't hear from him, and mind you, this is the guy that she talked to almost every single day. They used to hang out a lot. Once she loaned that money, disappears. She tries to contact him after months and she asked him, hey, like, what's going on? How are you? And what's going on with that money that I loaned you? Ignores her. And as he's ignoring her, he continues to post his stories of him eating in these expensive places, him buying himself a new car, him living this lavish lifestyle that I don't know how he can afford, because it's like, sir, if you can buy all that dinner that you bought yourself, like that dinner he bought himself was enough to pay half of what he owed her. So, I mean, you know, she tries to reach out to him again, asking, hey, like, are you really planning to ignore me over money? And he still didn't respond. Understand, guys, that this isn't someone she recently met, okay? This is someone she's been close to for years. And over a small amount of money, he was fast to ignore her. An important thing that each and every one of you needs to remember is someone who's willing to ignore you over money is someone that will use you for the rest of your life. Now, I understand people go through hard times and maybe he has something going on during that time, but why not mention that you don't have the money to pay back? Why not mention that you'll make some kind of plan to pay it back? Maybe instead of paying for that application that you have for $20 that you pay a month, delete that application and instead pay her $20 a month until you finally pay up all of that money that you owe her. Something. Anything. But no, he instead decided that the best decision is to ignore a good friend of his that he had for years. Now, years ago, I had this friend, let's call her Tina. Thank God. She's not in my life anymore. But basically, she worked at the supermarket. She didn't make great money, but she made just like above minimum. And she was able to afford basics. Like, she was able to afford the place she lives in, the clothes she wears. She was able to afford the food she eats, everything. Like, she was fine. You know, she had the basics for survival and stuff like that. But this Tina girl just loved leeching off of people. I grew so much resentment towards her, just seeing her constantly using her friends and her best friend for their money. Like, every time we would go out to eat, we already know that she will not be bringing money. And she won't even tell us ahead of time or nothing. Like, she would just come and be like, oh, forgot my wallet. Oh, I don't have money. And listen, I understand that sometimes it's really hard when you're making minimum at your job or just above minimum. And listen, I have no problem paying for a friend, especially when I know they're not making that kind of money. And like, I really do understand. But like, how is it that Tina has those huge fake lashes on. She has huge long nails, face full of makeup from expensive brands. I've been to her place. I know what makeup she uses. And even when it's not done, she gets a brand new one. I don't know how. Hair extensions on. And on top of that, goes to the tanning salon. It's expensive. It's a lot of money, especially the country that we were living in. To afford these things, it was not cheap. If you're spending that much money on your beauty already, at least find a guy who's going to spend money on you instead of leeching off of your friends. The bigger problem with people like this is not only do they normally not return the money that they've borrowed, but they also get to like the state where they get so comfortable and they continue to ask you for more money. My grandmother had a brother who lives in a country that doesn't make much money. So he would constantly call her and ask her to send money for his kids, for their medicine, for their school supplies. And she did. In fact, she didn't expect it back. She never asked him, hey, like, are you going to return that money? Nothing. She would always send it. She was always happy to help. Also, she came from a country where she had a better job. She had more money. So she was able to help. But because he would always call over and over again for money, she eventually told him she doesn't have it anymore. Okay, I mean, she has her own things to take care of. Eventually she got to the point where she's on pension. She doesn't work anymore. On top of that, her kids have kids, so she needs to help them, and she needs to also spend more money on them. This guy has been getting money out of my grandma for years and still somehow doesn't have his ish together, doesn't have a plan on how to get more money for the kids that he brought into this world. So he continues to leech off of my grandma without having any plan. I mean, forget it. The woman doesn't even ask you for the money back, and you can't even get your ish together to somehow afford things yourself eventually. To think of some kind of escape out of that country at least, because that was offered to him too by my family, which he did not take. So anyways, she eventually told him no. She explained her situation, and guys, since the day she said no, not one time did he call her again. Not once. Not once did he call her just to ask her how she's doing. Not once did he call her and say, you know what, thank you all those years that you've helped me. Nothing. In general, seriously, my best advice is to always play like you don't got money like that. Truthfully, if people think you're useless, they won't use you. I even had family members who got unalived simply because they had big mouths and they bragged about having money. It's a big mistake. Flashing money is the biggest mistake you can make, and you never know who you will open up your mouth to. Just wait. If it's the wrong person, say thank you if you're still alive. That's all I can say. Ladies, seriously, try really hard to never put yourself in a situation where you need to borrow money, and try to never put yourself in a situation where you can't afford the basics. There is nothing worse than being stuck with a man who treats you badly and you can't escape because you don't have money. There's nothing worse than being that friend that constantly needs to leech off of others, hard-earned money, and on top of that is never able to pay back. And don't be one of those that has a minus in their bank account but refuses to do a job that sucks. At least take the job that sucks. At least get some kind of money, and on the side try to find something better. Okay, you have no idea how many people I know who have minuses and say, yeah, life is hard, nah, but they do nothing to fix it, nothing. They continue to go out to party, they continue to drink alcohol. I don't know what they're celebrating. They will not take a simple job being a cleaner or a babysitter because those jobs suck and they're too hard. So they're waiting to hopefully get a better job that's easier. Like, people like that, I simply refuse to help. People who say they have no money but somehow are spending it on like beauty and stuff, I don't respect. I do not want to help you. I simply don't. I know people who are truly struggling, and they're trying. They're at least trying to find a job. They're really trying, and I can see when someone is trying, and it makes me want to help them even more. Really, like, I personally think at the end of the day, okay, If you're gonna give someone money, just accept the fact already before you give it to them that it's not coming back. It will simply make you feel better. I've had people that, of course, I've helped out, but those are people who actually needed my help, people who actually, you can see that they're trying to get better. Nobody wants to help a person who, those homeless people that even if you give them money, they just continue to do terrible substance and they continue to drink, and you see that they're not even trying to get their ish together. They don't even want to have a shower and try to find a job. They just want to be on the streets and continue to take their bad substance. Nobody truly wants to spend their hard-earned money on someone like that. Don't be one of those people. And yes, even though I talk a lot about, having a man that provides you money, as a woman, you should always have your own money regardless. Even if a guy provides for you, even if he spends on you, even if he takes care of you, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You never know what you're going to find out tomorrow. You should always have money in your bank account, regardless whatever situation you're in. And if you're an even smarter woman, you simply, if you're working, if you're a working woman, you tell him that you make a lot less than what you really make. That way he feels bad to even take some kind of money off of you. That way, you're actually saving some kind of money on the side, and in case anything happens, you don't care. You can easily leave the guy because this whole time that he's been providing, you have money. You've been saving money on the side. You're always, you're in a situation. You have no idea how good it feels, how much of a better place it puts you in if you have money in your bank account. Okay, even if you're a housewife and maybe you don't work, you should definitely find something that makes money. Okay, you can, especially nowadays, you got YouTube, you got all these things that give you a little bit of money, and that's still something. Okay, maybe you'll decide to babysit, I don't know, but you need to figure out a way, because even as a housewife, it doesn't matter, even if the guy provides fully, you still need to find a way to make money. A woman who doesn't have money in her bank account puts herself in an extremely, extremely dangerous place.